You can become anything you desire if you know exactly what you want, possess immense faith, and act with unwavering persistence. This isn't a comforting affirmation. It's the genesis of a tumultuous journey, a path where every single limit can be shattered by a series of small decisions made each day. Within the pages of Eurydice, The Right to be Rich, Napoleon doesn't merely chronicle success through numbers. He opens a profound doorway into a world shaped by will, discipline, collaboration, creativity, health, and sustained transformation forged through the most seemingly ordinary habits. Have you ever considered what would happen if failure ceased to be an obsession and instead became a driving force? What if every challenge on life's path transformed from an obstacle into a profound test for self-discovery? The author lays down a very clear gauntlet. Amidst all the chaos and change, who dares to proactively control themselves? Who will persistently build solid foundations day by day? Only that person will truly seize the power to forge a new destiny. This book doesn't promise instant transformation, nor does it hand readers any miraculous formulas. Instead, each page is a resounding call to awakening. You cannot blame circumstances, nor can you forever hide behind the shadow of past failures. The right to be rich, both materially and spiritually, belongs to those who dare to try, dare to learn anew from scratch, and dare to uphold every principle even when everything feels most precarious. If you've ever, even once, asked yourself what truly determines your destiny, then perhaps this is the moment to pause and open these pages. For it's highly possible that what you truly need isn't a smooth path, but the courage to confront yourself, and to begin today. Some people live their entire lives without ever daring to ask themselves what truly ignites their deepest desires. They drift through their days, accepting every change as if it were a preordained fate, never considering that they could master their own lives. Yet, among these very individuals, sometimes a sudden moment arrives, a thought flashes powerfully enough to provoke a question. Do we each have the right to choose our life's greatest purpose, to redefine ourselves from ground zero? From that precise moment, every transformation begins. A clear goal isn't just a destination, it's the very foundation that builds the entire structure of one's success. Whoever knows what they want, understands how to turn an idea into a plan, and dares to begin acting, that person is already ahead of most of the world. It doesn't matter if the start is perfect or not. What truly matters is the persistent revision and refinement with every step taken. No plan is immutable, but only a firm commitment to one's objective can prevent us from losing our way amidst life's countless crossroads. Every human action has a deeply hidden motivation behind it. It could be love, fear, the yearning for recognition, or simply the desire for free existence. When we understand that all choices fundamentally stem from these powerful emotions, each of us will learn how to use those very emotions as leverage. Only when desire is intense enough will they be strong enough to repeat the goal every single day, nurturing it like an inexhaustible underground spring. What's fascinating is that if repeated often enough, even the subconscious mind becomes convinced. The subconscious doesn't care about right or wrong. As long as a thought appears long enough, intensely enough, it will transform into a command and automatically guide every action. A successful person is someone who knows how to plant the idea, "I can do this," deep into their subconscious, repeating it until they themselves no longer harbor any doubt. True belief isn't an empty promise. It's the ability to visualize the outcome even before beginning. This faith is so potent that no matter how many times one stumbles, the will remains unshaken. The greatest individuals always know precisely what they will achieve, daring to see victory even before the battle commences. Within them, there's no room for hesitation or half-hearted compromise. Every thought emits vibrational waves. When a person walks into a room radiating burning belief and determination, others feel it without a single word being spoken. Conversely, if there's only reluctance and doubt, every opportunity will close before it even has a chance to open. Major decisions, billion-dollar deals, are sometimes sealed purely by a confident demeanor and an unwavering aura. No one wants to partner with someone who constantly doubts themselves. But every door swings open for those who dare to believe and dare to act. Some people spend their entire lives waiting for opportunities to come, while others know how to create their own once they've clearly defined what they want. Suddenly, everything becomes easier. Difficulties that seemed insurmountable are merely tests of willpower's endurance. Someone with a grand objective won't be deterred by minor hurdles, nor will they be blinded by fleeting advantages. It's impossible to speak of success without acknowledging the profound power of collaboration. No one is omnipotent enough to do everything alone. Great minds understand how to seek out and maintain connections with those who share their aspirations. When many minds converge on a single goal, a synergistic power is unleashed, far greater than the sum of individual strengths. Some globally renowned individuals aren't famous because they know everything, but because they know how to listen, how to attract brilliant people to their side, and how to cultivate an environment where everyone can maximize their potential. Not everyone grasps this. Most prefer to work independently, making their own decisions. But the wise always recognize the value of a mastermind group. They know that with just one trusted ally, every limitation can be overcome. When a group of people truly collaborate seamlessly, inspiration and energy permeate every corner. There might be initial disagreements and arguments, but once these are overcome, what remains is an unshakable, shared belief. In such a group, each person not only becomes stronger, but also braver, more creative, far exceeding what they once believed themselves capable of. Humanity's greatest achievements have never been the product of isolation born from practical experience. Everyone will eventually realize the value of connecting intellects. It's not always easy. Sometimes it requires setting aside ego, learning to listen, and tolerating differences. But only then can positive energy truly explode, forming an unstoppable driving force within the flow of collaboration. Trust spreads from one person to another, transforming the impossible into the possible. Once the goal is clearly defined and a mastermind group has been built, the next crucial step is to dare to put that belief into practice. It's not enough just to believe, one must act. The biggest difference between the successful and the unsuccessful lies in the fact that successful people always dare to turn ideas into action the moment an opportunity appears. They don't wait for all conditions to be perfect to begin. They begin to create perfect conditions. This belief might be tested, doubted, even ridiculed by those closest to them. But simply by maintaining steadfast determination, the ultimate outcome will be a success that outsiders cannot comprehend. Whoever has never been doubted will never understand the feeling of triumph when everyone around them gradually comes to believe in what they are pursuing. When belief becomes a habit, every difficulty is merely a small lesson on the journey towards a grand destination. When each day begins with a clear goal, repeated in one's mind with intense belief, every action throughout that day gains meaning. There are no longer wasted hours, no impulsive decisions. This focus and steadfastness form the bedrock of all long-term success. No challenge, no matter how immense, is powerful enough to deter someone with an unwavering goal, a supportive mastermind group, and a faith that has been forged through action. When belief is firmly rooted and action begins to form habits, another question naturally arises. Why do some people work diligently their entire lives yet remain stagnant, while others advance so quickly they surprise even themselves? The answer lies not in luck, but in the choice to do more than what is required. A person's true value only becomes evident when they are willing to give more than they are paid for. There's a silent rule at play in life that not everyone recognizes. When a person only does their assigned part, they receive precisely the commensurate reward. But when they proactively do more, think further, serve better, they create a discrepancy that life is compelled to compensate for. This compensation doesn't arrive immediately, but it always comes not through promises, but through opportunities, through trust, and through doors that open at the most unexpected moments. Those who know how to do more never count their efforts. They don't stand before a mirror asking if they've done enough. Instead, they ask if they could possibly do better. To an outsider, this might seem foolish, yet precisely that foolishness is the differentiating factor. No one can truly ascend by merely doing enough. Excellence is always born from the portion of effort that others either don't see or aren't willing to expend. In reality, most people desire recognition before they give, but those who achieve great strides do the opposite. They give first, without needing commitments or guarantees. They understand that true capability is only revealed when faced with responsibilities greater than their current position, and when opportunity strikes, they've long been ready. This act of giving isn't just about work, it's about their attitude towards life. When a person enters a space with an open, zealous, and supportive spirit, their energy impacts the entire surrounding environment. Others sense this trustworthiness without any explanation needed. Genuine enthusiasm is something that cannot be faked or concealed. From this foundation, another element gradually forms: personal presence. Presence isn't about a glamorous appearance or smooth talk. Presence is the synthesis of one's thoughts, emotions, and how they react to life. A person who knows where they are going and why they do what they do naturally exudes a calm composure that makes others want to listen. There are those who speak very little, yet every word makes their listener ponder. Some don't need to prove themselves, but are trusted immediately upon first meeting. This doesn't come from communication techniques, it stems from inner strength. Inner strength is forged from discipline in thought, consistency between words and actions, and belief tested over time. When this presence is cultivated correctly, it becomes a magnetic force. Others are drawn to it not for immediate benefit, but because they perceive steadfastness. In a world full of volatility, people constantly seek an anchor, and a person with an unshakable presence becomes that anchor, even without actively trying to display it. Personal presence also reflects how one confronts adversity. When things are going smoothly, anyone can appear confident, but when everything is against you, only those with a strong mental foundation can maintain their composure. This serenity in the face of difficulty is the clearest sign of inner strength. Not everyone is born with an alluring presence. It's gradually formed through daily choices: the choice to get up after failure, the choice to continue giving when unrecognized, the choice to do what's right even when no one is watching. Each of these small choices accumulates to create a distinct individual without needing to boast. When a person is both willing to do more and maintains a steadfast presence, they begin to enter a phase where all previous efforts gradually connect into a seamless flow. Relationships deepen, opportunities arise more naturally. This isn't because they are lucky, but because they have prepared long enough. What's noteworthy is that at this stage, the individual is no longer overly concerned with proving themselves. Their focus shifts from ego to value, from seeking recognition to creating a positive impact. When a person stops chasing immediate results, significant outcomes begin to seek them out. All of this isn't just theory to be elegantly read. These are principles that operate silently within life, revealing themselves only to those patient enough to observe and courageous enough to apply them. Doing more than expected doesn't lead to exhaustion. On the contrary, if guided by a clear goal and unwavering belief, it generates a self-sustaining momentum where every step forward brings new energy. When personal presence has been forged through challenges, giving, collaboration, and belief, people transition to a different state of awareness. They no longer ask how much they can achieve, but rather, have they utilized their full potential? And precisely this question opens the door to deeper transformations in thought, emotion, and their perspective on failure, adversity, and the role of a positive spirit throughout the entire journey ahead. When a person has reached the deepest realm of self-understanding, they realize that every action, every decision leads back to a core truth: the ability to proactively choose, to exercise self-control, and to relentlessly strive. Strength isn't solely about thinking big, but about daring to start with the smallest steps, persistently repeating them to turn theory into practice. It's not hard to see that anyone who achieves greatness shares a common trait: they never wait for external motivation. They build their own system of personal discipline. This discipline isn't rigid, it's a flexible blend of reason and emotion. Thanks to this discipline, all goals become feasible. Even distant aspirations gradually draw closer. Whoever cannot control themselves cannot control their circumstances. Deeper into the persistent days, people realize that joy and excitement don't come from the outcome, but from the very process of pursuit. A person who keeps the flame of enthusiasm alive will spread inspiration to those around them. This fervor isn't a noisy cheer, but an underground current of energy, always ready to ignite whenever faced with a challenge. When a person approaches their work with an enthusiastic spirit, all barriers shrink, all difficulties transform into motivation to continue. However, no matter how powerful enthusiasm may be, it can dwindle if one doesn't know how to control their attention. The world is brimming with distractions, and just one moment of inattention is enough for grand goals to be forgotten amidst life's chaos. The ability to focus on what matters most becomes the key to unlocking all doors to success. Those who know how to direct their attention will organize all their resources, time, emotions to fully dedicate them to their primary goal. At that point, every thought, every action converges to a single point, generating an immense, unstoppable power. Only after concentrating long enough do people attain the capacity for precise thinking. This isn't innate intelligence. It's the result of a process of filtering, considering, and verifying every piece of information. A person with precise thinking always knows how to distinguish between fact and opinion, between emotion and reason. They don't rush to judge, always taking time to observe, listen, compare, and only then drawing conclusions. It's the ability to identify the core of a problem, daring to eliminate superfluous thoughts, and retaining only what is truly important. One can see that all success is built upon these seemingly simple principles. But the truth is, most people overlook or underestimate the role of each principle. They believe that a single grand idea, one breakthrough, will change their entire life, but reality proves the opposite. It is precisely those small choices, daily disciplines, moments of maximum focus, and quiet minutes of precise thinking that create true turning points. Looking back on one's own journey, each person will realize that no step forward is meaningless. Every time one rises after failure, every time a goal is adjusted, every day of persistently repeating small actions, all are foundations for a greater achievement ahead. Failure isn't an end, it's the beginning of something new. Those who know how to learn from adversity fear no challenge. Every stumble is an opportunity to grow, every overcoming of difficulty is a chance to elevate one's mindset and resilience. Having fully absorbed all these lessons, people understand that success isn't a final destination, but a continuous journey of self-improvement. No one reaches the peak on a perfectly straight path. Every road to glory is rugged, winding, full of challenges and surprises. But it is precisely those persistent steps taken in the shadows that build the unshakable foundation for the brilliant light that follows. On every journey, there are times when it feels like one is moving backward, falling behind. But with enough patience and inner fortitude, each setback becomes a stepping stone. Every loss is an opportunity to reflect, to refine, to improve. Only those who dare to face the truth, who dare to accept every facet of life, can truly master themselves. Undeniably, when combined, these principles form a robust system that supports individuals in overcoming all challenges. No single principle exists in isolation. Each element complements and completes the others. The harmonious blend of personal discipline, enthusiasm, focus, precise thinking, and the spirit of learning from failure is the indispensable foundation for any success, big or small. And as a natural law, those who continually improve themselves will always find opportunities to collaborate and cooperate with like-minded souls. When a group of people shares a common goal and adheres to these principles, their combined strength will create achievements beyond imagination. No one is alone on the journey. Every step is supported by belief, shared purpose, and the relentless aspiration to rise. There's a power that only those who have risen repeatedly after countless stumbles truly grasp, the power of proactivity. When there's no one beside you to encourage or pave the way, a proactive person doesn't sit waiting for luck. They create their own fortune through every smallest action. Proactivity is the ability to see opportunity where others only perceive difficulty in life. People easily fall into the habit of waiting, blaming circumstances, others, or the times. But those who wish to ascend to a new level all begin by deciding to take personal responsibility for everything that happens. They choose action instead of waiting, choose to begin instead of hesitating, choose to correct mistakes instead of complaining. The first step is always the hardest. Anyone who has tried something new understands the unfamiliar sensation when everything around them is uncertain. But just once daring to step out of the comfort zone, all limits begin to expand. A proactive person doesn't ask why no one else is doing it. They ask why they aren't doing it when they reach that state. Procrastination loses its grip, and the habit of proactivity, little by little, creates a chain of small achievements that then accumulate into major turning points. Sometimes, even one's own self cannot believe that in moments where challenges constantly barrage, only those with a positive mindset can see the light. Positive thinking isn't about blindly denying difficulties, but daring to view every problem through the lens of growth when faced with failure. Positive individuals don't blame themselves or seek to avoid it. They take a step back to discern where the lesson lies, then use that very failure as fuel for their next success. No one can avoid failure, but how one reacts to failure determines each person's destination. Sometimes, everything seems to push people into a dead end. Seemingly perfect plans shatter, close teammates depart, and even belief is tested to its extreme. But by simply holding onto a small flame of optimism, by simply believing they still have the power to choose their response, that person will not collapse. A positive spirit is the armor that protects people from the most unexpected upheavals. When everything becomes vague, just hold steadfast to belief and embrace change, and the entire world will open up again. Many have asked what the secret is to not being swept into society's negative spiral. The answer is actually very simple. Choose your attitude towards every situation with a constructive mindset. Every challenge is an opportunity to test your strength. Every failure contains the seeds of valuable lessons. A person who maintains positive thinking will not panic when facing adversity. They see it as a natural part of the larger journey they are on. The most important thing is that this attitude toward life doesn't come naturally. It's the result of a process of self-training willpower and daily self-discipline. Everyone has moments of weakness, wanting to give up, wanting to evade responsibility. But those who know how to control themselves will not let temporary emotions ruin all their long-term efforts. Self-discipline is the ability to place principles above short-term desires. It is knowing how to refuse easy things in order to preserve grand goals. There are mornings when all motivation seems to evaporate, reasons for procrastination emerge, and trivial temptations surround, making it easy to slide off the self-imposed track. But just one time daring to conquer oneself, daring to push aside the call of comfort, daring to rise even to do the smallest task, people reclaim themselves day by day, week by week, month by month. That discipline accumulates into inner strength, into a powerful belief that nothing is impossible if one is determined to see it through. The most potent feeling comes from these small daily victories. Each time a bad habit is overcome, each time procrastination is refused, each time work is completed even if no one witnesses it. All these things coalesce into immense self-confidence. Successful people don't wait for external recognition. They reward themselves with the feeling of self-conquest. It's no coincidence that the most disciplined people are also the happiest. They don't have to fear missing out on anything, because every choice is within their control. Proactivity, positive thinking, and self-discipline form a solid triangle, the foundation for every subsequent journey of conquest. Having mastered these three elements, people begin to clearly feel the power of passion-fierce energy that propels them relentlessly forward. When the fire of passion ignites in the mind, all seemingly inherent limitations suddenly become insignificant. Perhaps someone has experienced boring months where each morning was just a monotonous repetition of the day before. But with just a truly grand ideal, a deep inner urge, their entire inner world immediately shifts. Passion isn't merely a temporary burst of emotion. It's a persistent energy source that nourishes the journey of conquering every goal. Those who keep that flame alive in their hearts, even when facing countless obstacles and disappointments, will not falter. They know that failure is simply a test to determine who is worthy of going all the way and who will merely pass halfway. Many mistakenly believe that great motivation only comes to special individuals, but in truth, anyone can generate their own passion if they know how to ignite meaning in everything they do. When a person clearly perceives the value they bring to life, every task, no matter how small, becomes valuable. Passion isn't something to be sought in distant lands. It lies within the determination to completely fulfill every task, every dream, every promise to oneself. Reality shows that persistence only appears in those who continuously nurture their passion. In moments of fatigue and pressure, just a memory of a past success or one instance of overcoming oneself is enough to reawaken a belief that seemed dormant. A truly passionate person isn't always loud. They are quietly persistent, not boastful, not complacent. They believe in the power of small steps, in the cumulative value of diligent, sustained hard work over the years. There are times when those around us doubt, even ridicule, the ideals we pursue. But only genuinely passionate individuals possess the strength to transform every criticism into motivation. They don't need to prove themselves with words, they prove it through concrete results, day by day. Passion is something no one can take away unless we ourselves surrender it. When that emotion becomes an inner strength, every difficulty is viewed as another opportunity for growth. However, no matter how potent enthusiasm may be, it requires a clear direction. Controlled focus is what distinguishes dreamers from achievers. In a world brimming with choices, it's easy to be swept into countless alluring but ultimately unimportant things. Only those who know how to choose the right priorities can break through. Focus isn't about completely eliminating all distractions, but the ability to return to the main goal whenever one loses their way. Successful people always maintain a clear priority list, knowing when to say no and when to dedicate their time to what is truly important. To sustain continuous focus in an information-saturated era, one must train daily, hourly. It's the skill of knowing how to choose, how to pause, how to proactively organize life in a way that serves one's greatest goal. Whoever cannot master their focus will be swept away by external currents, forever living in a comfort zone without ever breaking through. Once attention is controlled, all resources converge, creating explosive momentum that helps people make remarkable strides. Every true success is the result of continuous focus and a consistent goal sustained over a long period. The greatest individuals aren't those who do many things at once, but those who know how to choose the single most important task and then pour all their energy into completing it. At that point, all difficulties become mere tests of perseverance. All external temptations are just minor challenges compared to the unshakable inner will. The final, yet equally important, point is the capacity for precise thinking. Precise thinking isn't about knowing a lot, it's about knowing how to eliminate what's unnecessary. It's the ability to grasp the essence of a problem, unswayed by fleeting emotions or personal biases. Someone with precise thinking knows how to listen to multiple sources, verify information, and compare different viewpoints to find the optimal solution. In practice, many people fail not due to a lack of ideas or bad luck, but because they cannot control their own thoughts. They are easily swayed by majority opinion, easily waver in the face of conflicting information, and rush to conclusions without considering long-term consequences. A person with precise thinking always calmly observes, analyzes every detail, refusing to let temporary emotions obscure the truth. It is precisely this caution that helps them make major decisions, even when confronting the most difficult choices. When precise thinking combines with focus, passion, discipline, and proactivity, all potential within a person is awakened. Every step on the path to success becomes more certain. Every goal set has a solid foundation to become reality. And most importantly, that journey isn't just a series of days conquering achievements. It's also a process of self-perfection, self-discovery, and inner growth. The path of every individual, whether quiet or brilliant, is guided by deep-seated principles that sometimes even they aren't consciously aware of. When the capacities for proactivity, positive thinking, self-discipline, passion, focus, and precise thinking blend into a continuous flow, a profound transformation begins to unfold within. No longer merely someone who dreams or chases vague goals, one becomes an individual living with clear direction, capable of control, and able to self-create their destiny. The ability to control oneself is not a cage imprisoning freedom. Rather, it is a door opening to new lands. By proactively choosing their reactions, not getting swept into conflict or negative emotions, people truly master their lives not infrequently. The steadfastness in upholding personal principles has helped overcome the fiercest storms, these moments seeming small, like refusing an easy compromise or choosing to continue a difficult task when everyone else gives up. But it is precisely this chain of small choices that builds an iron will, silently shaping destiny. Also on that journey, each failure transforms into a precious opportunity. No one learns anything new without having stumbled, without having confronted their own limitations. Failure isn't a blemish to be concealed, it's a springboard for the next breakthrough. Those who deeply understand the value of failure will not fear starting over, nor will they fear temporary losses. For they know that each time they rise, they grow stronger. This persistence is the guarantee of long-term success. Every day lived, every choice, big or small, plays a role in building personal character. Successful people don't need external recognition to see their own worth. They find joy and meaning in their own efforts, in the continuous journey of self-perfection. Inner strength is a secret weapon no one can take away, a resource that sustains motivation even during the darkest periods. The most important thing is that not a single one of these principles exists in isolation. Each element is a link in the chain of success. Miss one link, and the entire system becomes unstable. The harmonious coordination of proactivity, positive thinking, self-discipline, passion, focus, and precise thinking is the strongest foundation that anyone aspiring to achievement must build. Those who can simultaneously maintain these principles not only advance further, but also move steadily, unswayed by external turbulence. Within the flow of these principles, a great power gradually forms, the ability to inspire those around them. When an individual lives true to their values, maintaining persistence and authenticity over the years, their very presence becomes a quiet motivation for the entire collective. Each person is a link, but a strong link can support the entire chain, spreading steadfastness, passion, and wisdom to others. Connection and collaboration are now no longer a choice, but a natural necessity once a certain level of maturity is reached. No one achieves long-term success solely through their own strength. Groups of like-minded individuals who know how to share and complement each other will rise together, overcoming all challenges. In such an environment, everyone has the opportunity to demonstrate their unique strengths while also learning and compensating for weaknesses. It is precisely collaboration that acts as the catalyst, igniting all potential. Success doesn't come from a miracle or a sudden event. It's the result of thousands of small choices, tens of thousands of persistent efforts guided by simple yet foundational principles. Each person, regardless of their starting point, can create profound transformation if they are persistent enough, believe enough, and act correctly. This journey is not for the lazy, nor for those who merely dream. It is for those who dare to live fully with each day, each goal, and each chosen principle. From here, everything seems ready for a new phase, where the principles just forged will continue to become the foundation for creativity, health, time management, financial management, and sustainable habits elements that will be dissected more deeply on the path to complete achievement. No one wishes to face failure. Most fear the feeling of being judged, of loss, of having to start over. But if failure is only viewed as pain, people will never discover the latent power waiting to be unleashed. The true value of every stumble lies in its ability to force one to look directly at their limits, peel back layers of illusion, and confront the true nature of the problem. In that moment, whoever is courageous enough to seek out the lesson will receive a gift greater than any short-term victory. Those who dare to ask why they failed, who dare to analyze the root causes, will not repeat old mistakes. It is precisely this ability to learn from adversity that has propelled many ordinary people to extraordinary heights. There are times when life doesn't just challenge once, but relentlessly and continuously, making people want to give up. Yet, each time one rises from failure, inner strength is forged, and willpower becomes more resilient. Having fully appreciated the value of adversity, people no longer fear new obstacles. Instead, they embrace them with a calm demeanor, viewing them as an essential part of their growth journey. Adversity is a forge, hardening invaluable, irreplaceable qualities. Alongside learning from failure, the power of collaboration becomes even clearer. One person can go fast, but a united team can go far. The power of coordination emerges when each individual knows how to set their ego aside to collectively aim for a common goal. No one is perfect in all aspects. Therefore, collaboration helps fill gaps, leveraging each person's strengths. When diverse values and capabilities blend, the results always far exceed all individual expectations. Major achievements throughout history bear the deep imprint of collective effort and shared heart. Not everyone finds it easy to integrate with others. Sometimes differences in opinion, work style, or even personality create conflict. But the very process of learning to listen, concede, and reconcile becomes a valuable lesson. True collaboration is only sustainable when everyone possesses a progressive spirit, knowing how to set aside their small ego for the common good. In such a team, each person not only develops individual capabilities, but also learns to share, encourage, and support one another in times of difficulty. Collective strength is always greater than the sum of its individual parts. After clashes and fierce debates, when common ground is found, the spirit of cooperation opens up space for creativity to flourish. The capacity for creativity and imagination is the driving force that propels people beyond old limits. No one is born a master creator. It's the result of a process of training flexible thinking. Daring to think differently, daring to experiment even knowing failure might occur. Creativity isn't just found in grand inventions, it's present in every small solution to the most familiar problems. A creative person is one who doesn't accept repetition, always yearning to explore new directions for work and life. They dare to view every problem from a different angle, questioning what is considered obvious. When a group shares a creative spirit, the boldest ideas can be realized through the combined efforts of many different minds. An idea truly gains value only when it is transformed into concrete action, when it is tested, adjusted, and gradually perfected. Sometimes, a spark of creativity appears from the most deadlocked situation, in the shadows of failure. The most unexpected solutions emerge. Creative people aren't afraid of change, aren't afraid to start over from scratch. They accept risks, unburdened by the fear of making mistakes. When an entire team collaboratively creates, that energy can spread, powerfully inspiring every member, enabling the team to overcome the greatest challenges. The power of creativity is truly maximized only when there's a solid foundation of physical and mental health. No one can be continuously creative or work persistently without maintaining their own health. Health isn't just the body's resilience, it's also a state of mental balance, the energy source that nurtures grand dreams. Those who know how to care for themselves, how to rest appropriately, how to choose a suitable lifestyle, always maintain mental clarity and a refreshed spirit so as not to collapse midway. Health care isn't overly complex. It's a chain of small habits repeated every day. Eating well, exercising reasonably, maintaining an optimistic outlook. Whoever maintains good health will maintain sharp focus, always ready to embrace every new challenge. Therefore, health becomes a solid launching pad for every dream, every relentless creative endeavor. Sustainable physical and mental health helps each person not only work effectively, but also fully enjoy every moment on their journey of growth. A healthy body is a safe abode for a steadfast spirit and a sharp intellect. Those who know how to preserve and nourish themselves never fear being left behind, for they understand the value of balance between work and rest, between the desire to break through and the ability to listen to oneself, all built upon a strong foundation of health. Built upon a strong foundation of health, the skills of time and financial management become decisive factors for all long-term achievements. Time is the only resource that, once gone, cannot be recovered. Successful people don't waste precious hours on trivial matters. They always clearly define priorities, focusing on what truly matters. They break down large goals into specific tasks, create realistic plans, and adhere to self-imposed discipline to avoid falling into the spiral of procrastination. Not only that, financial management also demands alertness and careful calculation. Those who know how to organize their spending wisely will proactively control their lives, not getting swept into short-term temptations, not letting material possessions dictate their emotions and decisions. A small saving today can become a great salvation tomorrow. Financial management isn't just about saving money. It's also the art of investing in true values that help one develop, expand capabilities, and master the future. There are times when precisely this discipline in managing time and finances serves as an anchor, helping people stand firm against unexpected storms. When everything around is in flux, those who have cultivated the habit of tightly organizing their lives will be less likely to be swept away by external pressures. Every dollar spent wisely, every minute used purposefully, contributes to creating an inner strength not easily defeated. From that foundation, the journey of self-development gradually reaches higher levels, building and maintaining correct, sustainable habits over time. Every great achievement is the result of a chain of small, continuously repeated actions that become deeply ingrained habits in the subconscious. Successful people don't need to force themselves daily because a system of good habits automatically guides them in the right direction, keeping them away from temptation, laziness, and procrastination. The law of habit operates silently yet powerfully in every decision, every action, every thought. Good habits are like a compass, directing each person forward, overcoming obstacles that sometimes reason alone cannot persuade. Each day, maintaining a small habit like reading, exercising, managing finances, or simply maintaining a positive attitude accumulates into a solid inner strength for a lifetime. However, habits can also be a double-edged sword if not carefully chosen. Bad habits will gradually gnaw at willpower, erode energy, and drag back all efforts. Therefore, a mature person is one who dares to look directly at themselves, identify and proactively change harmful behaviors, step by step rebuilding their own system of positive habits. The secret for good habits to become a solid foundation is persistence and an unshakable will. No one forms good habits overnight. It requires thousands of repetitions, hundreds of failures, dozens of times wanting to give up. But each time a small obstacle is overcome, willpower increases by a notch. At some point, things that once required effort become natural reflexes, guiding people further without needing to strain. When good habits become an indispensable part of oneself, all grand goals become feasible. Willpower is nourished daily through personal discipline, health care, time and financial organization, the ability to collaborate, create, and learn from failure. All these blend into a resilient character, opening new horizons for every developmental effort. Only by proactively mastering habits can one truly master their destiny, turning all dreams into reality and walking steadily on the path of sustainable and complete success, on the long journey of character building. No one avoids moments of confusion before new challenges or weariness when results aren't as expected. But simply by persistently maintaining correct habits, advancing even one small step each day, people will clearly witness a profound transformation from within. It is precisely the regular repetition of positive behaviors that silently accumulates energy, so that at a certain point, the entire individual will break through, transcending old limits. Many tend to look at the final outcome and attribute it to luck, unexpected opportunities, or innate talent. They fail to see that behind every great achievement are thousands of days of persistently performing small habits. Each good habit is like a small brick, silently building a solid edifice of success. When everything eventually crystallizes, outsiders are astounded by the seemingly unshakable solidity. Not just for individuals, when good habits spread within a collective, the common energy will surge powerfully. If each member persistently maintains discipline, cares for their health, manages time and finances well, proactively learns, creates, and collaborates genuinely, then the entire team will become a force difficult to defeat. This positive atmosphere and persistent camaraderie create a collective strength that far exceeds the sum of individual parts. Wherever they go, whatever large or small changes they face, those who maintain a system of good habits always possess the ability to adapt, master circumstances, and confidently move forward. Good habits are like an anchor, preventing the ship of life from being swept away amidst storms. When everything around changes, it is precisely the habits cultivated over time that will prevent us from collapsing, from getting lost amidst countless tempting choices. All the principles presented from the beginning of this journey, when combined into a seamless system, will become a solid guiding compass for anyone who wishes to master their destiny. There's no need for a special starting point, no need for extraordinary talent. One only needs to dare to choose the path of proactivity, positivity, discipline, passion, focus, collaboration, creativity, learning, good health management, time, finances, and above all, building a system of sustainable habits. Then sustainable success will no longer be a distant dream. Most importantly, every great achievement is the result of a chain of positive transformations within each person's inner self. No one in this world is entirely immune to difficulties, failures, or confusion, but only those who are persistent enough with their principles, courageous enough to renew themselves daily, and resilient enough to maintain correct habits will truly grow over the years. Looking back on the entire journey, one can realize one thing: All success, all lasting value, begins with very small choices, quiet changes, simple habits. There's no need for loud declarations, no need for solemn vows, just quietly do your work correctly every day. Keep your willpower from cooling, keep good habits from fading. When that happens, each day lived becomes a solid step forward on the path towards life's greatest achievement. By steadfastly adhering to this system of values, each person will build an unbreakable foundation for themselves. Every challenge is merely a final test for inner strength. In the end, success is not a destination but a state of living fully, mastering one's life, freely developing, and spreading value to those around. It is precisely the persistence in every good habit, the depth in every life choice, and the spirit of continuous self-discovery that are the keys to unlocking all doors to the future. Each page of this book isn't a collection of success labels, it's a raw glimpse into the journey of growth. It's where adversity isn't a roadblock but a springboard, where failure isn't an end but an invitation to restart, more soberly and fiercely. Perhaps people arrive with a grand dream to change their lives, but ultimately realize that the deepest transformation doesn't lie in external shifts, but in every small decision, every most seemingly ordinary habit. Have you ever truly asked yourself how many times you've turned your back and given up just because you stumbled? How many times have you waited for change to come from the world, forgetting that you are the one who needs to change first? If all great achievements stem from persistently carrying out a series of simple actions, have you truly started any day yet? Or are these just intentions dangling in thought, never materializing? This book doesn't teach you to seek luck. It compels you to look directly at reality. The proactive person, the one who knows how to control themselves, who dares to collaborate and knows how to create, who knows how to organize every penny and every moment, who recognizes the value of health and never stops building good habits, that person truly has the right to speak of sustainable success. How you face failure is more important than all success secrets, and how you live each day determines everything you will become. Perhaps the hardest thing isn't knowing what to do, but daring to start, daring to maintain, and daring to persist to the end. If every principle here remains only on the pages of this book, your life won't be much different. But if each principle is tested by real action, each failure is analyzed frankly, and each small habit is rebuilt starting today, you will discover new doors that you once thought didn't exist. You will ask yourself, if tomorrow I wake up no longer afraid of failure, not afraid to try again, not bound by old habits, who will I become? If all that's holding you back is a series of small decisions, do you have the courage to change them daily? If power doesn't lie in circumstances but in your choices, what will you choose today? No one can answer these questions but you. Success isn't a miracle for the few, it's a reward for the persistent. Are you ready to do something different, not for the world to see, but for yourself to be proud of your own journey?